Welcome to Yoga and Harry and Emily. We've got another class for you today. We've got a backbend class today, so our peak pose is going to be Camel. So it's a really good one if we're sat on the sofa a lot, so we're hunched over, really going to open the heart today and move it into a backbend. So we're going to start off with our grounding, so our breathing exercises, so our pranayama. So you can do this lying down or sat up, whatever is your preference. And we're just going to begin by just closing the eyes and just becoming aware of the breath. And just starting to look inwards. Maybe noticing where the breath enters. Through the nose, the mouth. And then noticing where the breath goes. Does it go into the belly, chest? Relaxing the head, the shoulders, the sit bone. Just watching the breath. So we're going to work on our complete breath today, or yogic breathing, or some people like to call it a 3-part breath. So I'm going to work on breathing into the belly, the ribs and the chest separately, and then do it all together at the end, combining them all. So we're going to start off with the belly breathing. So as we inhale, we want to draw the belly out, really pushing the belly button away. Exhale, draw the belly button towards the spine. Seeing if we can breathe through the nose. Seeing if we can isolate this, so it's just the belly that's moving, not the chest. Really using the diaphragm. Just going at your own pace. If it helps, you can place a hand over the belly button, just to help guide the movement. Good, just allowing the breath to return back to normal now. We're going to start to breathe into the ribs, so we might find it's easier to bring the hands to the side body where we can feel the ribs. And then breathing through the nose if we can. As we inhale, we want to imagine we're flaring the ribs out. We inhale in. Exhale, the rib cage closes. So it's not quite the chest, it's just a little bit lower than the chest we're breathing into. Good, just allowing the breath to return back to normal. We're going to breathe into the chest now. So we can place a hand on the heart, that helps. And this can be quite uncomfortable because we're breathing quite high and it can be quite shallow. So just take it at your own pace. So we're going to breathe nice and deep into the chest. And then maybe lifting the shoulders towards the end of the breath. Just to get that little bit more air in. Exhale, dropping the shoulders, allowing the air to escape. Inhale, nice proud chest. So just allowing the breath to return back to normal. And then we're going to try and link all three of these practices together. So the way this is going to work is when we inhale, we breathe into the belly to begin with, then the ribs, then the chest. We hold for maybe a second, and then we exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. So it's almost like a wave movement up and down the body. So just taking a nice deep breath here. Exhale, letting it all out. Inhaling, belly, ribs, chest. Hold. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Drawing the belly button to the spine. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Hold. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. So just going at this at your own pace. Seeing how smooth you can make it. Seeing if you can link all three parts in one motion. Good. Just allowing the breath to return back to normal now. Maybe we notice any differences in the breath. Maybe differences in the body, the mind. So if you're not already, you can come to a seated position. In your own time, there's no rush to jump up. Maybe sitting on a pillow or a block. We're just going to start by inviting some small movements into the spine. So we're going to come into some seated cat-cows. So as we inhale, we push the chest out and forward, drawing the chin up. Exhale, hunching over, chin to chest. Inhale, chest forward, chin raised. Exhale, tuck the chin, arching the back. And then moving at your own pace. Good. When we're ready, coming into a nice neutral seated position. We're going to inhale as we raise both arms, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, we're going to bring the left hand to the right knee. The right hand comes behind us and we gaze over the right shoulder. Making sure both sit bones are grounded. Inhale, lifting nice and tall. Exhale, twisting. We're going to inhale as we raise the arms back up, coming back to centre. Exhale, right arm to left knee, left hand behind us, gazing over the left shoulder. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Inhaling as we draw both arms up nice and high to centre. Exhale, allowing the arms to fall. I'm just taking a minute to breathe here. Okay. We're going to come onto our backs into a butterfly legs. So the base of our feet are touching. It's a really nice one to open up the hips. If you find this uncomfortable, you can bring a block or a cushion under the knees here so it's a bit more passive. Connecting with the breath. Seeing if we can breathe nasally and fully. And then just bringing the knees together. If you need to use the hands, you can do. We're just going to have bent knees here with the feet on the mat. So we're going to come into a bridge pose. So planting the hands down on the mat, engaging through the hands. I'm going to push through the feet, bringing the pelvis off the floor. Good, so this is stage one. Really engaging the hamstrings and the glutes. If you find you're really struggling to connect there, you can bring a block in between the knees. And that way, by having to keep the block there, it helps engage the glutes. Okay, so next progression. Inhale, lifting. This time coming a bit higher. Maybe see if we can bind the arms underneath us. Really pushing the hips high. Exhale, coming down. We'll do one more. Inhale, coming up. Breathe in here. Really driving through the hips, pushing them away to the ceiling. Exhale, relax. I'm just going to inhale as we draw the knees to chest, inviting a little hug here, maybe a rock side to side, whatever's nice. Just connecting with the breath, just having a moment. So just making sure we've got room either side of us. We're going to keep the knees hooked into the chest. Exhaling as we drop the knees to the right hand side and bringing the arms out to a T. Seeing if we can gaze over the left hand. Now if you find this is quite uncomfortable, what you can do is you can tuck the hips underneath before we come up and across. Almost like we're lying in bed. That might make it a little bit easier. Again, you can bring a block in between the knees just to allow a bit of support so that we can really relax in this posture, in this belly twist. Connecting with the breath. Inhaling as you draw both knees back to centre. Exhaling as we come to the left side, gazing over the right hand. Inhaling back to centre. Exhaling, so allowing the feet to drop, maybe giving the legs a little wiggle. And we're going to come up on to our bums. So we're going to come into a nice mini bridge posture here. So planting the hands by the hips and the feet down. We're going to inhale as we push the shoulders away from the ears and bringing the hips high, almost like a reverse tabletop. Exhale, coming down. Good. We'll do one more. Inhale, grounding through the feet and the hands, engaging the glutes, pushing the hips nice and high. Exhaling, coming down. Good. Ooh. So we're just going to tuck the feet underneath and coming onto all fours into our tabletop. So our shoulders are over our wrists, the hips are over the knees. And we're just going to work out any kinks that we've got here. So we're going to come into our melted heart posture. So this is slightly different to a child's pose. The main difference is the hips are over the knees, so we're not sinking back. What we do is we sink forwards. So we're just going to begin by walking the hands out in front of us. Maybe the forearms can come down. Maybe we can walk a little bit further, allowing the head to come down. Maybe resting the forehead. And we're really coming into the back here. So a nice back bend. Maybe you feel it in the lats also. And just breathing here. Might find you need a pillow for under the knees. It's completely fine. And when we're ready, just slowly walking the hands back to our tabletop. Now we're going to come into our child's pose. So we're going to touch the big toes, walk the knees out, and sink back towards the heels. Walking the arms out in front of us, allowing the chest to drop. The forehead meets the mat. If that's not comfortable, just use a block. We want to make sure we can relax in this pose. So doing whatever is necessary, maybe a pillow underneath the legs, on the heels, whatever it takes. This is our rest pose in yoga, our child's pose. So you can do this pose at any point in the practice. If you've got an injury, you just want to take a minute. Maybe there's a certain posture that's just not for you. Just do this pose instead. And just breathe in here. slowly walking the hands back to centre. Good, and coming into our tabletop. Okay, so tucking the toes, I'm going to push the hips back and high, coming into our downward facing dog. So you're keeping the knees bent. We're just going to make sure the shoulders are away from the ears and we're bringing the gaze in between the heels. Maybe we can start to pedal out the heels, straighten the legs a little bit. Good. We're going to inhale as we roll to a plank. So shoulders are over the wrists. Exhale as we come back to downward dog. Breathe in here. Inhale as we come to plank. Exhale as we lower through chaturanga. So we're going to go knees, chest, chin. Lying flat on the floor. We're going to inhale into baby cobra. There's little to no weight in the hands here. Really see if we can engage through the back muscles. Maybe we can actually bring the hands off. Exhale, relax. Dropping the head to mat. Inhaling into baby cobra again. Really pushing the feet down into the mat. Engaging through the glutes. Maybe we use the hands just a little bit this time, just to go a bit deeper. Exhale, relax. Tucking the toes. Pushing the hips high, almost through a tabletop, and then into plank, into downward facing dog. Walking it out, and then when we're ready, we're going to take an inhale as we walk or step forward in between the hands into a forward fold. Inhaling to a halfway lift, and then coming all the way up nice and tall. Exhale, Namaste, coming into our mountain pose.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our sun salutation part of today's practice, which is where we move a little bit quicker with the breath, flowing that little bit more smoothly now. So in our mountain pose, we're going to inhale as we raise the arms all the way up, maybe a slight back bend. Exhale as we fold forward. We're going to inhale to a halfway lift, maybe resting the hands or the shin or even above the knee. Exhale as we plant the hands, step back into plank. Here we're going to lower down by dropping the knees, then the chest, then the chin. We're going to inhale into baby cobra, almost no weight in the hands. Exhale as we curl the toes, push back into our downward facing dog. Really sinking the chest towards the feet, again maybe pedaling the feet out. Inhale as we walk or step in between the hands back into our forward fold. Inhale into a halfway lift and then bring that flat back all the way up nice and tall. And exhale into Namaste, bringing the hands to prayer. Good. One more time. Inhaling, raising the arms all the way up. Maybe a slight back bend. Exhale as we fold forward. Inhale into a halfway lift, that flat back. Exhale as we plant the hands, stepping back into plank. This time maybe experimenting with lowering all the way down, or you can use knees, chest, chin. Inhaling into baby cobra or all the way up into upward facing dog, making sure we're pressing the feet to protect the lower back. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhaling as we draw up onto the tiptoes and then maybe walking or stepping back into our forward fold. Inhale into a halfway lift, that nice flat back, and then bringing the arms all the way up nice and tall. And exhale, Samasthiti. Good. Closing the eyes here, maybe connecting with the breath. Noticing the body getting a little bit warmer now. Good. And then when we're ready, we're going to inhale nice and tall. But on the exhale, this time interlacing the hands behind the back as we come into our forward fold. Releasing the hands as we plant him, and then this time stepping the left foot back as we drop the knee, coming into our low lunge. We're going to inhale as we come up here, and then maybe using like a pillow or a blanket if you've got sensitive knees on that back leg. And then when we're here, we're going to inhale as we draw the arms all the way up, maybe shifting back slightly. On the exhale, we're going to cactus the arms, sinking into that front leg. Inhaling nice and tall. Exhaling, cactus the arms, maybe bringing the gaze a little bit up. One more time. Inhaling nice and tall. And exhaling, cactus the arms, sinking into that front leg. This time planting the hands and stepping back into plank and lowering down your way, knees, chest, chin, or all the way. Inhaling into baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Really sinking the chest towards the back of the room. Inhaling as we step back into our forward fold. Inhale into a halfway lift, that nice flat back, and then all the way up nice and tall. And exhale as we bring the hands to prayer. Good, we're going to repeat on the opposite side now. We're going to inhale nice and tall. And on the exhale, bringing the arms behind, interlacing the hands as we fold forward. Remembering to keep that micro bend in the knee here. We don't want to lock the legs out. Inhaling here. And on the exhale, planting the hands as we step the right foot back this time. As we drop the knee, coming into our low lunge. Coming all the way up here. We're going to inhale, raising the arms, maybe even shifting back slightly. Exhale, we cactus the arms, sinking into that front leg. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, cactus the arms, maybe bringing the gaze slightly up. One more time, inhaling nice and tall. And exhale, sinking into that front leg. Good. Here we're going to plant the hands and step back into plank position. And here, lowering down your way, knees, chest, chin, all the way. Inhaling into baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, drawing up onto the tiptoes, and then walking or stepping back into our forward fold. Inhale into a halfway lift, that nice flat back. And then bring the arms all the way up nice and tall. And exhale into Samasthiti, hands to prayer. Good. Maybe closing the eyes here. Connecting with the breath. Giving ourselves a moment. Good. So we're going to switch it up a little bit now with our flow. So when we're ready, we're going to inhale the arms all the way up and exhale into a forward fold. We're going to inhale to a halfway lift, that nice flat back. And on the exhale, we're going to step the left foot back and we're going to raise all the way up into our high lunge. So here we want nice strong legs, we want our knee stacked over our ankle. We're going to inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to pivot the back foot 45 degrees, dropping the arms to a T shape as we sink into that front leg to our warrior two. I'm going to inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to bring the arms behind, interlacing. And then we can just stay here if that's comfortable. Or we can bow the head as we come into our humble warrior. Breathe in here. Inhale as we come all the way back to our warrior two. And here we're just going to cartwheel the hands and stepping back into our plank position. And here lowering down. Inhaling into baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale as we draw up onto the tiptoes and then walking or stepping back into our forward fold. Inhale into a halfway lift, that nice flat back, and then bring it all the way up. And exhale, bringing hands to prayer. Good, we're going to repeat on the opposite side. When we're ready, inhaling the arms all the way up. Slight back bend. Exhale into a forward fold. We're going to inhale to a halfway lift, that nice flat back. And on the exhale, we're going to step the right foot back. And then we're going to inhale all the way up into high lunge. Nice strong legs. Inhale here. And on the exhale, we're going to pivot the back foot 45 degrees, dropping the arms to a T shape as we sink into that front leg, warrior two. We're going to inhale here. And on the exhale, bringing the arms behind, interlacing the hands. And then staying here or bowing the head into our humble warrior. Breathe in here. Then we're going to inhale all the way back to our warrior two. And here we're going to cartwheel the hands, planting them on the mat as we step into plank. And then lowering down. Inhaling into baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Noticing any changes here. Do the legs feel awake now? Maybe pedaling the feet out once more. As we inhale, drawing up onto the tiptoes and then stepping back into our forward fold. Inhale into a nice flat back and then bring it all the way up nice and tall. And exhale, bringing the hands to prayer. Good. Then maybe shaking the legs out here. Legs are nice and stretched now. Maybe even taking a drink. And then when we're ready, inhaling all the way up nice and tall. Maybe a slight back bend. Exhale as we fold forward. We're going to inhale to a halfway lift, that nice flat back. Exhale as we plant the hands, step back into plank position, and then lowering down. Inhaling into baby cobra or upward facing dog. Pushing the feet, protecting that lower back. Exhale into downward facing dog. Taking a nice inhale here as we sink the chest towards the feet. And then in your own time, we're just going to drop the knees as we come into our tabletop position. Knowing that the sun salutations are over now. Maybe even wiggling from one way to the other. Any kinks in the back or the legs.
So we're going to come into a modified side angle. So we're just going to bring the left foot outwards. Then bringing the right foot straight behind us. I'm going to inhale as we raise the right arm up. And then maybe over the head. Really create some space on the side body here. Maybe gazing up through the right armpit. Exhaling to bring the right hand back. Coming into our tabletop again. So this time we're going to pivot the right foot outwards. Bringing the left foot straight. So the hand, knee and foot are all in line. Inhaling to draw the left arm up. And then maybe reaching over the top. Gazing upwards. And breathing here. Exhaling as the left hand meets the mat, we pivot back round into our tabletop. And we're just going to rock back, coming into our hero pose. So I'm just going to explain the peak pose for today. So you can stay in hero while you watch and then we'll do it all together. So we're going to go into camel pose. So a really good back bend. So we're going to come up onto the knees. I'm going to begin by inhaling the arms up, exhaling cactus. So we're really coming into the back here, really want to engage the back chain of the muscles. Maybe we can lean back a little bit further. Maybe this is where we stay, that's fine. Maybe we find we come up onto the toes and we can bind on the heels. Coming into our camel here. If we find we have more room, we can flatten the feet, with the toes aren't tucked, and we can come into camel there. Whichever one suits you. Personally, I prefer it with my toes tucked. And what we're doing here is we're really driving the hips forward, so we're engaging the glutes, engaging the back muscles, and we're not allowing the chin to drop away from us, so the chin is still slightly tucked, we're not looking behind us. We're looking up. And then coming out of this pose super gently. And then coming into a child's pose. So we'll do that one more time. So when we're ready, coming back up onto the knees. Into our hero. Then rock up onto the knees. Maybe tuck the toes already. Inhaling up. Exhaling cactus. Making sure we know that we can stay here. This is fine, there's lots of benefits here. Maybe we find we can meet the heels. Going into our camel. Making sure we engage the hips forwards. And then slowly exhaling as we come out of the posture. And then making sure we come into a child's pose to finish. So you can play with that posture. You can pause the video and give it a few more goes if you want to, but we're going to move on now. So whenever we do a deep back bend like that, we always want to make sure we do a twist. So now that we're in our child's pose and we're nice and comfy, we're going to do a thread the needle. So we're going to walk the right arm out a little bit and inhale the left arm up. Exhale as you bring the left arm under the right armpit and just walk it out a little bit, maybe walking both hands out and just relaxing the head on the floor here. When we're ready, walking the right hand back towards us. Inhaling as we draw the left hand back up and opening the chest. Exhale, both hands meet. Inhale, we're going to draw the right hand up. Maybe walking the left hand forward so there's enough room for the right hand. Exhale, the right hand comes under the left armpit. And then just walking both hands away from us. The head meets the mat. And just relaxing here, connecting with the breath. Walking the left hand towards us. Inhaling as we draw the right arm up, opening the chest. Exhaling as we come back down. You can take another child's pose here. And just getting prepared to sit back up again. So when we're ready, walking back towards the knees. Scooping the feet round. We're going to come into our staff pose. So almost creating this L shape with the body. So we can move the sit bones if that helps. Making sure we're sitting nice and tall. If you struggle with this like I do, if you've got the tight hamstrings, you can come up onto a block. That just helps elevate the sit bone. And make sure we keep a micro bend in the knees, we don't want to lock out. So engage in the core, sitting nice and tall. I'm going to inhale as we bring the arms up. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhaling as we hinge from the hips, falling forwards. And then finally the arms come down to meet the legs. Coming into our seated forward fold. Seeing if we can find relaxation here. Seeing if we can surrender to the pose. And when we're ready, inhaling back up nice and tall. Exhaling, dropping the arms. Maybe giving the legs a little wiggle. And then we're just going to remove the block if we've got one. And then we're going to come onto our backs. We're going to keep the knees bent. So we're going to come into our window wiper. So taking a nice deep inhale. Exhale, dropping the knees to the right. Inhaling back to centre. Exhale, dropping to the left. And then just following our own breath, repeating this. Inhale to centre, exhale to the right, and repeat. So you can do this as quick or as slow as you like. You can stay on one side for a few breaths. Whatever your body's calling for. Seeing if we can follow that intuition. And then to finish off, we're going to come back to centre. Inhaling the knees to chest. For one last hug, maybe a little rock side to side. And then exhaling as we come into Savasana. So you can grab a jumper, blanket, whatever you want. We're going to come into Savasana with the palms facing up. The feet nice and open. And the head nice and heavy. Allowing the breath to return back to normal now, making sure it's comfortable, allowing the body to relax, knowing that we've done all the hard work today physically. And allowing the mind to be in the present moment, knowing that any thoughts that come into our head, we can just address them later. Right now is your time to just relax in Savasana and enjoy the beautiful practice of yoga.
awareness back to the body, maybe deepening the breath, maybe wiggling the toes, wiggling the hands, being really gentle. Maybe even lifting the arms over the head just for a nice stretch. And then in your own time, just rolling over to one side in almost like a fetal position. And then ever so slowly, in your own way, coming all the way up, back to a comfortable seated position. Seeing if we keep the eyes closed. Bringing the hands to prayer. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on your practice today. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you could like and leave a comment, any feedback, we'd love to hear it. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you. Bye, guys.